Yeah. Well, we are delighted to host this Milestone Celebration with a good partner of ours, Connections for the Homeless. Uh, you know, so many different, every organization has a tagline, right? You have to find a way to express your mission. And you can't use a whole paragraph, you can't write a book, you got to put it in a few words. Our congregation's mission is we express God's love in compassion, action, and justice. I like that. Isn't that good? Expressing God's love in those ways. But you all are even more efficient. You got it even better. We are ending homelessness one person at a time. How succinct and powerful is that? And as I look out on this crowd today, I see all of these folks who have come together not as a behemoth organization, not to solve all the problems of the world, but to focus right here on our community and to solve homelessness one person at a time. And from our congregation's experience in working with Connections, volunteering at Hilda's Place, advocating and standing with you for the Margarita Inn, doing all the work we can together as a community to end homelessness one person at a time, it is only right and just that we celebrate that, right? That's what we're here today, to celebrate the work that Connections for the Homeless has been doing. I applaud your efforts. I'm so proud of our church to be a small part of it, but especially for all the people who will be honored tonight. So I applaud you. Congratulations. I know you got a big program tonight, so I'm not going to belabor it with any more comments, but I just want to say thank you for being here. If anyone needs to use the facilities, we have an ADA accessible restroom right here on the first floor. To my left, you go through those doors and straight ahead you'll find it. And of course, downstairs in the basement, we have our fellowship hall where the meal and other bathrooms are available. We have a good volunteer to open up the windows to let God's good air into this space. And it promises to be a great evening. So again, on behalf of the congregation, welcome to First Congregational. I hope you come back again soon. So bless you all.
Good evening, everyone. I'm James Barnett. I am Coordinated Entry and Training Manager at Connections for the Homeless. And I am really happy to be here for our first Milestone Celebration of this year, 2024. And we're here to celebrate the accomplishments of Connections volunteers, our community partners, staff, and most of all, the participants. But before we get started with the official program, I want to take a moment to reflect on some of Connections' own milestones. Okay, so anyway, just since our last milestone event 1 year ago this month, Connections has successfully purchased and now owns the Margarita Inn. All right? And we have launched a medical respite program under the guidance of our medical director, Dr. Keith Boyd. Also, we have held our second block party at Twigs Park and Double Clutch Brewery, and we hope you'll join us for our third block party on July the 20th of this year. And this is the 40th anniversary of Connections, which is another milestone for our agency. I'm proud to say that I've been here for 6 of those years, and in those 6 years, there have been some big changes, really. First, there's been tremendous growth in every way. When I started, there were about 40 staff, and we now have just under 100. Also, when I started working at Connections, we had a shelter for 18 men who came in at 5 in the evening and had to be out by 7 in the morning. We had 6 transition-age youth, that's youth between the age of 18 and 24, at our youth facility called Our House. Today, we shelter about 65 or so individuals and families around the clock at our Margarita Inn. Besides Our House, we have youth sheltered in transitional housing. We also have families in what's called bridge housing. In 2018, we had drop-in services at one location 2 days out of the week, from 1:30 to 4, which is 2.5 hours. Today, we have drop-in at 2 locations 5 days a week with a 2-hour session twice a day. Our healthcare staff has grown from 1 full-time nurse and a doctor who came in once a week to a full-time staff that consists of a doctor, a nurse, care coordinators, and 2 behavioral health specialists. So Connections is bigger, but what's important about that is that we are able to provide support in more ways to more neighbors facing homelessness than ever before. Also, when I started, we had one person working in prevention, 1 in our finance team, and a few on our development team. All these departments have grown in the last 6 years, and that means we've increased what we as an agency are able to do today. In 2018, we served about 1,400 individuals. In 2023, we served nearly 5,000. All right. Just, to let you know how I've seen our services transform people, transforms people's lives. I can remember one woman in particular who came to Connections around the beginning of the pandemic. She was living on the streets and had to use a walker, a very raggedy walker that was about to fall apart. She had a broken hip, and she needed to heal but couldn't find a way to do that on her own. So after spending about a year in the Margarita Inn, she did get housed. Now, a few years later, she's totally transformed both physically and mentally. Her whole disposition has changed for the better. This speaks to the great impact that stability can have on a person's life, and that's what we do at Connections. We give people the stability they need to become their best selves. Tonight, we are also reminded of our core values that drive our work forward: generosity of spirit, transparency, resilience, community, equity, and inclusion. Each story you will hear tonight is an embodiment of these core values. As we start, I want to acknowledge that tonight is not just about celebrating, it is also a time for remembering. I would like all of us to take a moment to acknowledge the community members we recently lost. I will now read their names and ask that you join me in a moment of reflection. Laura Bach, Donnell Ellis, Kathleen Haskey, Herman Levant, Preston McCollin, Joe Moig, and Christopher Saunders. Thank you for joining me. At Connections, our mission is to end homelessness one person at a time. Each person's path out of homelessness is different, and we pride ourselves on meeting our participants where they are. Through our program of prevention, shelter, and drop-in, and housing, we serve nearly 5,000 of our neighbors each year. In addition, we have a highly skilled advocacy team tackling the root causes of homelessness and addressing the affordable housing crisis head-on. Soon, you will hear stories and meet a few of the people whose lives we've impacted in each of these pillars of work. Let's start with our shelter and drop-in. We have 2 drop-in sites where participants can access a variety of resources, including showers, clothing, food, toiletries, food pantry, mail services, and health care. Participants, that's what we call our people. We don't call them clients, we call them participants, because they are participating in the betterment of their own lives. Anyway, they can problem solve with case managers to solve the challenges that they are facing. Nearly 200 individuals visit our drop-in centers each week for service. And I venture to say that may be a few more. But at the Margarita Inn, we are typically housing about 60 participants at a time. This includes men, women, and children, Hotel shelter is a new and innovative model for providing shelter that has proven positive outcomes in both securing housing and improving personal health and wellness. We are proud to offer this as a permanent solution in our community, and we continue to be grateful for our supporters who help make this possible. Let's meet a couple of our staff members from the Margarita Inn. Welcome, Jeffrey, Molly, and is Dr. Boyd here? All right, first up, we will hear from Molly Bartholomew. She is one of our behavioral health specialists. Molly.
Good evening. I am pleased to honor Lauren tonight. Lauren, would you like to join me on the stage? Lauren is an active and positive member of the Margarita Inn community. He is a Northwestern University graduate and journalist by training, who found himself without housing after he had been taking care of his ailing mother and wasn't able to continue living in her condo after she passed away. To complicate matters, Lauren had been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and was undergoing treatment. He knew that a congregate shelter would be risky for his health status while undergoing chemotherapy, so he was very thankful to get into the Margarita Inn. Lauren's treatment is going well, and he's working on his goals and on finding permanent housing. Lauren, would you like to share a few words?
Well, this is quite an honor to give to somebody who is so short a time, part of the Connections community. So I did think a little bit about what I wanted to say, right? Try to get through it quick. I found my way to Margarita Inn in March, about halfway through my chemotherapy treatment for stage 4 metastatic prostate cancer. Metastatic meaning it spread pretty much everywhere except my brains and my lungs, right? So, finding the Margarita Inn really was an essential part of my recovery and healing. Because, Connection, that's what it really represented, a place where I could heal, block out all the noise, and just really focus on my recovery, right? I thought about it, if I mention the names of, the people that I've encountered at Connections who've really been part of this journey, I'd spend the whole rest of the evening here, right? But you guys know who you are, and I hope I can, keep showing you how important it is what you've done for me. I do have to single out, though, one person, Dr. Keith Boyd, for knowing, you could say from a medical context, how precarious my situation was and how important it was for me to be in the Margarita Inn. But, you could say last but not least is just the community. I mean, just having people to talk to who you can, share stories with, who, kind of legitimately are glad to see you and, see you around, right? So it worked. It worked. Successfully completed the chemo treatment about a month ago, all the tests and scans, and thanks. Thanks for that. No, but all the testing, scans, and blood labs and stuff basically show, yes, the cancer is in retreat, and the way I'm telling it to people, the cancer is not going to kill me right now, so I'll be around for like a minute. So thank you to Connections, and thank you for this recognition, and thanks for making me part of the Connections community. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Next, I want to honor Kira, She's not able to join us tonight, but I just wanted to say a few words about her. She and her young son became homeless when they were evicted and had no family members to turn to for help, as her parents had both recently passed away. While staying at the Margarita Inn, Kira was very committed to pursuing and achieving her health and housing goals. Finding permanent housing was her #1 priority, and it paid off as she and her son have now been housed and are settling into their new home. So I just want to take a moment to honor Kira.
All right, thank you, Molly. My name is Jeffrey Leach. I'm one of the case managers over at the Margarita. The person I'd like to honor tonight is Andre. Andre couldn't be here with us tonight. I left him about an hour ago at the hospital. But we still would like to recognize Andre for his resilience and generosity of spirit. While staying at the Margarita, Andre was always known for his big smile, wearing jerseys, and getting in everybody's business. His positive attitude helped him achieve his goals. He quickly found full-time employment and also helped another member of the Margarita community get a job there. He was eventually able to move into his first apartment ever in a brand new building out in Skokie. Unfortunately, upon finding housing, Andre was diagnosed with cancer. He is responding to treatment, and he's back at work, but we're really proud of Andre, and unfortunately couldn't be here tonight. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Keith Boyd. I'm the medical director at Connections for the Homeless. I'm so pleased to be here and mostly pleased to honor Lamont. Lamont, you want to come up and join us? Lamont has a number of medical challenges that he couldn't even begin to address while he was riding the train as a source of housing. So every night, Lamont was spending his nights on the train and really unable to face the daily challenges of being unhoused and certainly not able to address his medical issues. But Lamont came regularly to drop in, and we began working on a number of his problems. And I'll never forget the first time he came in. His legs were the size of tree trunks, so big, so swollen that he couldn't walk. And he diligently put on these compression socks that I gave him every single day. And I don't know about you, but I wear them every day, and I have a hard time getting them on. And he diligently wore them every day, and we slowly started to chip away at some of his issues. So I want to share a few examples of Lamont's resilience and his persistence in getting to a much better place. So if you fast forward about 8 months, Lamont's now living at the Margarita Inn. And since moving in, he's been regularly seeing his medical providers, and he's taken a lot of personal responsibility to make significant changes to better his health. Probably most insignificant, but most important, is that he's significantly cut down the number of cigarettes he's smoking every day. But I want to tell you about something that I'm just truly fascinated by. So Lamont has hypertension, and he was working on trying to bring his blood pressure down. And as a part of a total management package, Molly and I were talking to him individually about managing his stress. And so we taught him a number of very simple exercises that he goes through now to try to reduce his stress. And he now has made a little bit of a really fun ritual of coming down into the office, sitting down at my desk and checking his blood pressure, making note of the numbers, but then he turns the machine off, takes the cuff off, and he sits in the chair and just closes his eyes and deep breathes for just a few minutes, for 3 or 4 minutes. And the amazing thing to me is every time he lowers his systolic blood pressure 10 points just by doing that. I'm just getting chills just telling people about it. It's so cool to see. And for those of you who might not be familiar with blood pressure, Lamont typically will bring his blood pressure from 130 down to 120 through his quick relaxation techniques. So it's really fun to see. Finally, Lamont has taken some very important steps in preparing himself for a really important orthopedic surgery that he has scheduled now in 2 weeks. So we wish him luck on that. So we honor Lamont today for his contributions to the Margarita Inn community and for his incredible resilience.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to thank the Margarita Inn for being so helpful to me, because I was sleeping on the train for like 9 months. And almost every day, somebody would go in my pocket and take my cell phone or my money, my ID, everything. Then I go get new ID, and they take that too when I come back with the new one. So I got tired of that, and I finally I went over to drop-in, and I met Dr. Keith Boyd, and he seen how big my leg was. He was like, man, you got to get up off of that train. He got me into the Margarita Inn. When I was on that train, I thought I was in hell. But when I got to the Margarita Inn, I thought I was in heaven. I said, this is a beautiful place to be. And then now they're looking for housing for me, my surgery. They've been taking me on my doctor's appointments. And my surgery and everything is coming up in 2 weeks. And hopefully I'll be able to walk without the cane soon, you know, and get a job or something. And I just thank y'all for being so good to me. I appreciate everything y'all have done, you know, and I, with y'all is like a big family. Y'all like a big family to me. And without y'all, I wouldn't have been able to make it. I'd probably been dead out there somewhere. And with that, I keep coming back.
I'll find you a plaque here.
Thank you, Lamont, and congratulations to all of our honorees and our shelter staff as they return to their seats. Now we will turn our focus to prevention. So I will ask that Joy and Fatima join me on the stage. As they come, I want to remind you that our prevention team provides financial assistance along with case management to help people get back on their feet. Can you hear me? Okay. Our prevention team provides financial assistance along with case management to help people get back on their feet when they experience a sudden change in their finances or when they have hardships that prevent them from paying their rent. Our most effective solution to ending homelessness is keeping people in their homes in the first place. But we also help people get rehoused quickly and affordably if they do lose their place to stay. Last year, we prevented 1,400 individuals from entering homelessness. Now, let's hear from Fatima Melioso, our housing resource specialist.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to introduce several participants today. Can Alan, Maxine, and Kimberly please join us up on stage? I will start with Alan. Alan found himself without a place to live and was at the same time working to get custody of his 14-year-old son who had recently been placed in foster care. We were able to help him get housing through the statewide referral network. Alan was then able to gain custody of his son, and they're both getting settled in their new home in Highland Park. When housing becomes hard to afford, we make housing affordable. Alan, will you share a few words tonight?
How y'all doing tonight? She was talking about my son there, Alan Jr. He was in foster care for a little over 3 years. And I spent maybe a year and a half of that in the hospital myself. Coming out of there is really, really hard to maintain and, stay ahead. And I heard about Connections. And once I went to Connections, things turned around. My son is home. We happy now. And I think Connection and everybody involved. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen. Now we will honor Maxine. When Maxine was evicted from her home of more than 20 years, she came to Connections for support. She showed a tremendous amount of courage and resilience as she overcame multiple challenges during this difficult time. Despite these challenges, Maxine was recently able to find and secure housing. Congratulations on your new place, Maxine.
I'm not usually a speaker, but I can't help but have my tongue move. I know a God that will take care of everything. When I was down and probably feeling real bad for myself, I knew where to go, and that was Jesus. I feel him in my spirit, and I feel him in my soul, and I thank him, and I praise him, and I give him thanks because I trusted and loved him. And not only did he do that for me and calm me down in my times of trouble, he also presented me with a good friend, and her name is Fatima. You know what? Anybody can just get a job and say they have a job, but when you get a job and you're assigned to dealing with people and you show so much compassion and love and trust. When I would walk into her office in tears, she always say, "Maxine, it's gonna be all right." She don't know how much of a comfort that was with her. Also, my grandkids always teased me because I wasn't good on the computer. And not just because of that, it's just that I didn't take no time to learn. And Fatima would be there for me. We had an early resolution program that it required Zoom. She made sure that I was there and that I knew how to get on and respond to them. And I just thank God for her because she's not only a housing resolution person to me, she's a good friend, and I love her. And I thank her for it. Amen. And now I'm in a place where this guy, landlord, was looking for people from housing because he knew that people was having trouble and everything like that. And he asked me, he said, "Maxine, have you ever been evicted?" And I told him, "Yes, I'm going through it right now." And this is how God worked. He said, "You just come and look at the place, you, your daughter, and your husband." So we did. And he said, "Since you were such an honest person," and a lot of people take them and say they're not being evicted or they don't have bad credit or anything. But look at God. He took me to both of those things. And now I'm in Skokie. The place is much bigger. It's much less. It's just a beautiful place. Windows all around. And I just thank God for that. And I just want to give him the praise. Just keep Jesus. Thank you.
Thank you, Maxine. Next, I'm happy to introduce Kimberly. When Kimberly came to Connections, she had a housing voucher that was only good in the city of Chicago, but wanted to find a place in Evanston in order to keep her son in school here. Connections was able to assist her in switching her voucher to one that would work in this area. During this process, she faced many obstacles and was very patient through it all. She and her son are now happily getting settled in their new place. Kimberly, would you like to share?
I just want to say I thank God for Fatima. She stayed on me. She rolled me. Wow. she helped me out with a lot of things and stuff that I would do on my own because I always took care of myself. So for somebody to try to help me, it was I was a little bit just a little afraid. But when she came and she would just call me every day, she was on me every day. So that right there, it made me to want to get up and do some more things and just to live my life with my son because my son needed to be in Evanston. So she helped me in all the places. We looked for lots of places, a lot of places I wouldn't take. And then the places, the last places she sent me to, the place that she sent me to, that's the place I took. And I'm happy about the place. The place is really good for me and my son, my little doggy. So just to say thank you, Fatima, for everything that you've done for me. I appreciate you and I love you. You guys rock over here. You guys rock.
Thank you, Kimberly. Now I'll pass it down to Jory.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jory Kowarski. I am the Prevention Manager at Connections for the Homeless, and I would like to introduce Doa. Doa, come on up, please. So I started at Connections a little over 4 years ago. Oh yeah, and family, come on up. Come on up. So I met Doa like in July of 2020, so it was like peak COVID, and it was an honor to meet her family. And we've always been working together. We've been working together for 4 years now. So when the Housing Authority opened up their wait list for a housing choice voucher, we got her on the list, but we had no idea when she was gonna get off the list. It was a lottery. So all of a sudden, I think it was in fall of last year, so fall of 2023, she got communication, she was getting all her documents together, she was doing all the things to get this voucher. She finally got her briefing papers, but before we even got there, helped her several times with prevention just to keep them housed, to keep them stable. And then she finally got approved for a housing choice voucher, and they are now stably housed in Skokie. And that took, 3 to 4 years. So we honor Doa tonight for her resilience and for continuing to work with Connections for the Homeless to try to meet her needs, to try to stably she would do anything for her family. So we honor her and her family and their courage. And did you want to try to say anything? Do you want your family to say anything? Go ahead. Here. Go ahead.
Jury right here helped us a lot with our housing in our Section 8, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Oh, and this is for you? Did you want to say something? Yeah. Okay. Okay. And when I met Ivanka, she was like a baby. So we've been together for a while now. Do you want to say anything?
Thank you, Judy.
You say thank you. Say.
Thank you.
Here, you want to take a picture? Here, you hold your award.
Thank you so much, Judy.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure. All right. Handing it back to you, James.
I'd like to thank all the honorees from Prevention. Now, as you likely know, our mission of ending homelessness one person at a time is one that we cannot do alone. We live out our mission in partnership with our volunteers and community partners. Every week, we have volunteers make lunches for drop-in, cook dinners for Margarita Inn residents, organize clothes in our clothing room, assist participants in the food, and much more, much, much more. Just last year, our volunteers gave over 10,000 hours of service to Connections. Tonight, we will honor one volunteer with the Lisa Todd Volunteer Award. And to announce that honor, we will hear from Andrew Siebert, our Associate Director of Operations. Andrew?
Thank you, James. It is my pleasure to present the Lisa Todd Award this evening. This award is named in honor of our former colleague who served as a volunteer manager from 2010 to 2019 and left a lasting impact on our volunteer program. Tonight, I am honored to present this award to Justin Travis. Twice a month, Connections receives a delivery of hundreds of pounds of food from the Greater Chicago Food Depository for our food pantry. For nearly 2 years, Justin has been a committed and vital volunteer on those delivery days. Not only a dependable and hard worker, he also helps orient new volunteers to the process, making them feel welcomed, appreciated, and encouraging them to join us on a reoccurring basis like he has. Justin first learned about Connections when researching volunteer opportunities that his whole family could partake in. His 2 younger daughters are here with us tonight. He and his family have made bagged lunches several times, and they've also organized events at both of his daughters' schools to make lunches. Justin's servant heart extends beyond Connections as he regularly volunteers at other organizations as well. As Lisa Todd reminded me just earlier this week, we all do better when we're all doing better. It's clear to me that Justin shares that outlook. Tonight, we honor Justin for his sense of community and his generosity of spirit. Justin, would you like to share a few words?
Thank you. I think I can speak for all the volunteers here and say that we don't volunteer for recognition, awards, or thank yous. We volunteer because it makes us feel good, and we want to help others. But it is nice to be recognized every once in a while, so thank you. Thank you to Andrew for thinking of me and the entire staff at Connections who work tirelessly to end homelessness one person at a time. I also want to thank my wife, Sarah, who isn't here today. About 2 years ago, she suggested that I leave the workforce and become a stay-at-home dad. One of the many benefits of this is I can volunteer my time. Thank you, Sarah. And finally, I want to leave you with this. When you do things for others, the road may be twice as hard, but the reward is always twice as sweet. Thank you.
Next, I would like to invite Keegan Olson up. He is our manager of shelter programs.
Hello all. I am Keegan Olson. Like James said, I'm the manager of shelter programs, otherwise the manager of the Margarita. So thank you for your service, Justin. And in addition to incredible volunteers like Justin, we also have some really strong community partners. And I'm excited to take a few moments of your time today to tell you about one of our incredible partners, Peer Services. Jay, will you join me on stage? For those of you who don't know, Peer Services works to reduce the harms of substance use and addiction by engaging people with innovative prevention programming and by supporting people on their path to recovery. In my years of work in the field, Peer Services is a standout community partner. From the very first days of meeting with Peer Services to explore the services we could provide or they could provide us, they really fought to disassemble barriers to participants receiving services. They acknowledge that for some people, making the long journey over to Peer Services from the Margarita Inn might be a barrier, so they offer to come over on site to walk people over for treatment. They also offered weekly ongoing support groups for people who might need extra services or support, and to offer intakes on site, so people don't even have to leave the shelter to get connected on their journey to better care. This really helped foster an environment of positive change with our participants, and on top of just providing incredible support for people who are starting their journey towards positive change and healing and substance use, they also have been creating a spirit of generosity, resilience, and inclusion by welcoming participants who just want to learn better, healthy coping skills. Couldn't we all? Thank you so much. Jay, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you so much, Keegan. I have to say that for a long time I wanted to volunteer with Connections, and now I'm connected with Connections, and I'm really happy that that's happening. I do work at Peer Services. I'm a counselor there. We offer services for people who are struggling with substances. I personally work on the MAR team, which is Medicated Assisted Recovery. We help people who are struggling with opioid abuse. We also have an adult and adolescent program, counseling that they serve a number of people who have a number of different addictions or struggling with whatever is hindering their lives, right? So I thank you so much, Keegan. It's really wonderful to be working with Connections. I do go over there every week, and I love it. So thanks so much.
Cheese.
Thank you, Jay, and congratulations to Justin and Peer Services for your well-deserved awards. We will now turn our focus to our housing services. Our incredible housing team works tirelessly to find permanent housing solutions for our participants. Let's meet a few of the team members. Jen, Jayshawn, Jessica, Ayana, and Jeremy. Please join me on the stage. And first we will hear from Jen, who is our Senior Director of Housing and Youth Programs. Jen?
Hi, everyone. I'm really excited for the team to introduce Imani, Fariba, Soraya, Dagger, and Thais tonight. Will you join me up here? And I also wanted to do a shout out to somebody who will be honored in the next milestone, but got housed this week, William Poster. So William, can you stand up? So he came all the way here to hear all of the great stuff we're doing, and just wanted to make sure you're recognized. So we're gonna start with Fariba. And I've known Fariba for many, many years, even before working at Connections. And we're honoring Fariba for exhibiting all of our core values. Fariba and her family came to the US 8 years ago as refugees from Afghanistan. District 65 was able to connect them to Connections. And meanwhile, Fariba learned English, got her GED, and then just recently, she got her BA in nursing. This woman does not give up. Any barrier she experiences, she might feel uncomfortable, it might be horrible, and she just goes through it. I can't even give you enough examples, but I'm so inspired by her all the time. Fariba, her husband Jakob, and their family, and her kiddos are here, have been through a lot and always show up in the world with warmth, openness, and a sense of community, despite challenges they're faced. Recently, she was doing a drive for her home country to raise money to help some of the other refugees and people that are not doing well. So even when she's struggling, she's trying to help others, and it's just extremely inspiring, and I just so glad to know you. Do you want to say a few words?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fariba Panahi, and it is both an honor and privilege to stand here and share my story. We came to the United States as refugees. We arrived here with dreams of safety, stability, and the chance to build a new life. We faced many hardships of not only providing for our family, but also building a new life in a foreign land. The challenges were enormous. Learning a new language, navigating a complex educational system, and finding a stable employment were just a few of obstacles we encountered. Despite these challenges, I was determined to give my children the opportunity I never had. I knew the education was the key to a better future, not only for my children, but also myself. So I enrolled in night classes, tirelessly working toward my degree while balancing the demands of motherhood and housework. This journey was not about me walking alone. Along the way, there were guiding lights that helped me navigate the darkest of times. Caseworkers, friends, often unsung heroes stood by my side, offering support and encouragement. They provided resources, connected me with essential services, and most importantly, believed in my potential. Their unwavering support helped me to not only survive, but to thrive. To these dedicated professionals, me and my family owe a debt of gratitude. Your commitment to helping families like mine rebuild our lives is nothing short of extraordinary. I have heard the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, my family is living proof that a village like Evanston can raise a whole family. I would like to take this moment to appreciate the organizations such as Connection that has been a cornerstone of support for me and in countless others like me. Your dedication and companionship to empowering refugees and low-income families through education, advocacy, and community services is commendable. You provide more than just assistance. You offer hope and a pathway to a brighter future. In closing, my story is a powerful reminder of what can be achieved when we come together as a community to support one another. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the profound impact that compassionate support can have on the lives of those who are striving to overcome adversity. Thanks to the caseworker, especially Jen, my caseworker, and the organization, and to all who contribute to this vital work. Together, we are not just changing individual lives, we are building a stronger, more compassionate society for all. I bless every one of you who are active donors and agents of this wonderful organization. You made our lives easier even possible. And I hope I can pass on this help, hope, and assistance to others. Thank you all.
Now I'm happy to introduce and honor Soraya, and her case manager could not be here, so that's why I'm up here. Soraya has been housed at a nearby youth shelter for several years, and she is currently working with Connections to find long-term housing through our youth program. She's working and attending college with plans to become a registered behavioral technician. Soraya enjoys working with people with disabilities, and in her current job, she works with kids with autism. We are so proud of you, Soraya. Would you like to say a few words?
Hello. Thank you for having me. At first, I wasn't going to have anything. I was just going to go with the flow, but I did make a piece, so I'm going to pull it out. Okay. I am nervous. This piece is called Resilience. For years, I've been called resilient without resonating with the definition. I realized that I need to find what resilience means to me. So, this is what I came up with. Resilience is when you fall repeatedly or make the same mistake consistently, and not thinking about what you could have done instead, but what you did do differently. Learning that the world isn't working against me, but is working for and with me. Understanding that there's so much power blossoming inside me that I can take that power, build it within my palms, let it dance down my fingers, and emit out my fingertips. That I have the strength to not only move mountains, but strike them down the middle, form waves in between, and create islands. This is what resilience means to me. Understanding that the pain building inside me doesn't make me less of a person, but more of a human being. Being grateful and acknowledging that my trials and tribulations didn't turn me into someone who's filled with malice and spite. In the name of resilience, my heart stays warm as my intentions stay pure. It's safe to say, for a multitude of reasons, that my resilience is what brought me here today, and that your resilience is what brought you here with me. So, keep showing up for yourself. Keep showing you how daring you are, how courageous you are, how pure, loving, caring, extravagant, amazing you are. Keep showing yourself how resilient you are. So, the next time I'm reminded of the word resilience, I will no longer associate it with myself, but will also associate it with every beating heart in this room. Our combined resilience can create an entire universe because our resilient hearts beat as one. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a nice
Wow, that was so inspiring, and I love your reclaiming of the word resilience, because I know it can be a very loaded word for people, and that was just so beautiful. I want to introduce next one of our youth case managers, Jeremy.
Thank you, Jen. I am Jeremy. I'm one of the case managers in Connections for the Youth. And I'm here today to speak on one of my participants, Tahis. Unfortunately, she could not attend, but she deserves honor anyway. Tahis, when she first got into the program, she was going through plenty of trials and tribulations as a young youth. But through that, she kept her eyes straight and on the goal and knew what she wanted from the beginning. She was able to find her own apartment, even without our assistance, because she knew what she was looking for. After that, she made sure to stay through high school, and she actually just graduated recently Friday. So she just graduated, and now she has set herself on a farther goal because she wants to go to college to get her bachelor's degree. And she's going to be an architect for the city of Evanston and in the state of Illinois. So for her today, I want to give her a lot of praise through her diligence, through all the trials and tribulations she went through. She deserves a lot, and she has a beautiful future coming for her. Thank you.
Hey everybody, I'm case manager Jay Sean at our house and also IDHS case manager. And today I want to say a few words about Dagger. So now I would like to introduce Dagger. We're honoring Dagger for a sense of community. Dagger was sleeping on the train until he found connections. First, they lived at the Margarita Inn before moving to our house, which is our transitional housing. Throughout this time, Dagger has worked very hard and become friends with many of the residents at our house. We are really proud of Dagger. You want to say anything?
I just wanted to thank the connection staff, the therapists and the case managers, because I would have been dead if I wouldn't have found this place. I also really want to thank Lilith and Hecate and the gods for helping me get this far and helping me work on my inner self. And that's it.
Next up, we have Imani right here. When Imani first came into the program, she was going through unnecessary and trying times, and she decided to persevere. She wasn't the type to cower and run away from her problems. She decided to face them head on. When she started working with me, she made sure that she was going to find a way to persevere and keep moving forward. And now she was able to find herself 2 places of employment. So now, right now, she's working in 2 separate locations, waking up early in the morning and making it back to our house late at night. You understand? So no matter what, she's out and about, and even through times of sorrow or despair, she makes sure to keep a smile on her face. You can't see her when we're at our house that she's going through anything because she's always happy. I don't know how she does it, but she's always in a good mood, even through the trying times. And those are the type of feelings and emotions and the type of spirit you need behind yourself to make it through these trying times. And as adults and as people in connections and the family we've built here, it's things like this and people like her that make it worthwhile. Being able to see the youth come up out of these trying times and walk into the light of adulthood. You understand? Because life isn't easy, but at the end of the day, she's making it look so. So if I could, would you like to say anything, Imani?
I just want to say thank you, Connections. And without Connections, I don't know where I'll be.
Okay, now we're going to move on to our awesome Permanent Supportive Housing Case Manager, Jessica.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jessica Ibarra, and I'm a Permanent Supportive Case Manager here at Connections for the Homeless. Tonight, I am nominating Ernesto Rodriguez. Today, we gather to celebrate your remarkable achievements and incredible growth you've exhibited. Through dedication and perseverance, you've overcome so many challenges and obstacles, and you transformed your life completely. Your journey is a testament to the power of your resilience and the human spirit for your capacity of growth. Your accomplishments inspire us all, and we are honored to witness your continued success. Congratulations, Ernesto. Would you like to say a few words?
Hello, I don't speak too much English, but I want to say to Connection, Hilary and Jessica,
Thank you.
And next up is Ayanna Brown, another permanent supportive housing case manager.
Oh my gosh. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ayanna Brown. I'm supportive housing case manager with Connections. But the first thing that I would like to say is that I'm thankful for all the honorees and everyone that has come up because there's something that everybody said that kind of like stuck with me. So like, for example, coming back and just the volunteer and doing things and different things. My honoree this evening is probably at work because he said he didn't know if he was going to get off of work on time, so he's not here. But I'm excited to honor DaCosta Williams tonight. DaCosta has been working with Connections for a very long time. The journey started in 2007. With drop-in services, he was transitioned into the original Hilda's Place shelter in the basement of the Lake Street Church. In 2012, he had to use the Interfaith overnight shelter while still using the drop-in services. In 2013, DaCosta was housed, but unfortunately, he returned. He came back, he lost his housing, and became homeless again and used the drop-in services since 2017. He moved back into the Hilda's Place shelter. I want to emphasize his housing journey was not easy, but he kept coming back. I have to use that. It wasn't easy. Now I am proud to say that DaCosta has been housed since 2018. Through his resilience, DaCosta has persevered and overcome many obstacles. He has been able to save money, live a happy life, be involved with his family in Jamaica, do a lot of different things. Even during COVID, Connections had PACE buses that had signs on them or pictures on them to call or get connected needing assistance. And DaCosta was one of those whose picture was on the PACE bus that ran in the subway. In the suburbs. So I do want to, I'm so thankful for his resilience, and he continues to come back, and he uses the food pantry. He does a lot of things with Connections. So thank you.
Thank you, housing team. And congratulations again to all the honorees from the housing team. Before we get to our final honor of the evening, we want to recognize all the participants that we've successfully housed since our last milestone, which was in May of last year. You have met a few tonight, but there are quite a few more success stories. This is really amazing, you guys. We have over 75 households on the list. There are too many to read all of the names, but we are so proud of each and every one of these participants. Our list includes 31 from shelter, 17 from our housing programs, 15 from youth services, and 23 from prevention. Their names are on the screen now. Let's give them a huge round of applause. Yeah, that's what this work is all about, finding people permanent housing solutions. And now let's move on to our final honoree of the evening. This will go to a Connections staff member. It's always hard to choose just one person because our staff is pretty incredible. and they all deserve recognition. But tonight, we will focus on one amazing staff member. I will turn the mic over to Jen Fuhr-Crystal once again to announce this honor. JFC.
Thank you, James. And James is so right. All of our staff just bring so much value and expertise to our agency. And sadly, Tanya went home sick 3 hours ago. So hopefully she's feeling our good energy. And we still wanted to recognize her even though she couldn't be here to receive the honor. She was nominated by one of our coworkers, Ryan, and Sabrina, who was her supervisor for a long time, wrote these kind words about her. Tanya initially joined Connections for the Homeless as an on-call house mentor for the youth programs department. So that's our staff that work overnights and weekends at the youth shelter. She has excelled so much over the course of several years that she has been promoted and is now a youth programs manager under the umbrella of housing and youth programs. Tanya is the embodiment of the agency core values and mission. She demonstrates that daily in both her professional and her personal life. She's a leader, team player, hard worker, active listener, and problem solver, just to name a few of her amazing attributes. We're so lucky to have Tanya. Today, actually, she spent several hours with one of our case managers who is not bilingual to be an interpreter for a migrant family we recently housed in our transitional housing program in youth. And she is just always willing to jump in and drop whatever she's doing to use her Spanish-speaking skills to make sure our services are accessible to people who speak only Spanish. So I just appreciate all of Tanya's work. She's such a team player and just a great person to be around. So I'm sorry she couldn't be here, but let's give her a big round of applause.
Thank you, Jen, and thank you, Tanya. Even though you're not here, you know, it's a great thing to be recognized by your peers. Congratulations, and congratulations again, and congratulations once again to all who we have honored tonight. Thank you for continuing to inspire us, and thank you all for showing up for your community tonight. All right. So now we will enjoy our wonderful dinner downstairs. Oh, I want to do everybody a personal favor. I got a favor I want to do for everybody. I won't sing.
Everyone's invited to join us downstairs for dinner. We have a chicken shack. You'll go back out the way you came, turn left, and then down the stairs. If anyone needs accessible, it's behind me, let me know. And go on down and make a plate. Thanks for coming.